Okay, we're recording. And I'm sharing my screen. If you can see this, will you give me a thumbs up if it's showing? Okay, awesome. So really, I want to keep this short and just give tips tonight, and then I'll do a quick Q&A at the end if you think of anything off the top of your head. But since we're doing a teen brainstorm Friday morning, if we want to get super in-depth with any discussions about this stuff, we'll for the most part hash it out then, just because I want to honor evening time. So thank you guys for hopping on for now. But tonight, my topic is getting down to business, and the goal of this call is really just to offer about 6 tips on how to treat your business like a business effectively, because we are all super busy, and then give you guys a call to action just to make sure that we're implementing this information and not just writing it down. So if you have a pen and paper, take notes, but if you don't, I would just say maybe with your phone, snap a photo of the slides. The slides won't have all the information, but it'll probably jog your memory with some of the stuff that we talk about. So the very first tip that I have for you guys is using a calendar. And this isn't just to schedule in Beachbody stuff, but this is also to schedule in all of your personal responsibilities too, just to stay organized, and so that you can kind of brain dump at the beginning of the week or even at the beginning of the month when our team calendars come out and you want to go ahead and jot everything down so you won't forget it later. But have a calendar that everything ends up on, whether that's business related or family related, work related. Just try to have it all in one place, so that, again, it's one less thing that you're having to remember, and it's taking up less space. It's less chance of you feeling scatterbrained later. But also because in a lot of the reading that I've done, and I'm sure you guys have heard this before too, but it's proven that the things that we schedule in will have a higher chance of getting done, especially depending on your personality type. If you're someone that when you have an activity or a responsibility written down that you have to get it done and check it off your list, like I am, then this is even better for you and probably really fulfilling. But if nothing else, it's going to help you stay super organized. So schedule in things like your workout, schedule in your power hour, and then again, all of your other family responsibilities, but definitely use a calendar. I found for me personally, I use the calendar on my phone for a lot of things, but there's something about having pen and paper that makes me feel like I'm not forgetting anything and that I'm not going to lose anything. So I have a calendar on my desk and everything goes in there. You can get them pretty inexpensive at Target, but boy, is it worth the investment. So that's definitely my first tip for you guys. And then with your business, and again, some of this might be common sense, but maybe it's a good reminder for you guys. Follow a to-do list. Following a to-do list helps us stay on track. It helps us stay proactive. And I would say for your business, the most ideal to-do list, of course, you could always make your own, but a really good baseline to start with are the items within the power hour. If you haven't heard of the Power Hour before, all you have to do is pop into our Gracefully Balanced Coach Family page. And if you click on the magnifying glass within our group and you search Power Hour, something will show up for you. But the reason why the Power Hour is so helpful is because there are 10 activities on that checklist, and those activities will cover most of the vital behaviors aside from you working out, but it makes sure that you are adding new Facebook friends, so you're expanding your market, you're checking into your challenge group and our coach family group, you're connecting with your team if you have one, you're sending out your invites, you're even scheduling your posts and checking into your coach online office. So it's really important things, making sure that you get them done, but in a timely manner. And one of the things that I would recommend along with a to-do list is trying to work against the clock. And that might be stressful for some personality types, and you can try it out and see if it works for you. But a power hour really is meant to be about an hour long, not something that we drag out all day long. So what I would say is try to set a timer, set it for an hour, hour and 15 minutes if that makes it easier for you, and knock it out at whatever time during the day you feel like you're most productive. Now, there are several women on our team who are juggling various work schedules that maybe are non-traditional, and maybe you also have little ones at home or whatnot, and you have to get a little bit more creative. If that's the case, you can still get your power hour done and you can still work against the clock, but maybe not all at one time. And that's okay. You got to give yourself grace in that. This is the season that you're in. You can still make the most of your time and the most of your business and work in what I like to call power pockets. So you can get your power hour done, but maybe you break it down, whether it's in halves or you break it down into 3 different power pockets during the day. Just make sure that you're working focused time and that you're working from a list, so that you know that you're getting the important things done. You're not avoiding things that are going to move your business forward that maybe make you uncomfortable. If you go to bed at night knowing that you got the activities done on this power hour, you can rest easy knowing that you're not going to have to catch up on certain things the next day. So the items on that power hour list, I would say, are really priority. And then everything else you can do if you have additional time. Whether you want to do more follow-ups or more invitations, or you want to work on a training or customize an email for your customers, something like that. Just make sure you get the important things done. Now, a resource that I wanted to share with you guys, I'm not sure if it's available for iPhones and Androids, but there's an app. It's called 3030. I believe it's 30/30 is how you search for it. I have it on my phone, and it allows you to set customized timers. And you can label them item by item. And I know several coaches who will actually use this app for their entire day, including their devotion time in the morning and their workout, and they'll schedule in time for their Shakeology because they thrive having that structure and working against the clock all day. It's something that you can try, but you could use that if you wanted instead of a traditional timer when you are getting your power hour done. You could just individually label maybe 10 minutes to add new Facebook friends, 15 minutes for your new Hey Girl conversations, 5 minutes for 2 to 3 new invites, whatever the case is. But play around with it, see what works for you, but try to use a timer if at all possible with your to-do list so that you know that you're being efficient. The third tip that I have for you guys is to track as you work. So as you have your timer going, as you're doing your to-do list, which is probably your power hour. And I should say this too, at the beginning of the call, these tips really apply to anyone because they're just ways that we stay organized and efficient. However, this call as a whole, if you're taking all these things on board, is really going to be geared towards our part-time coaches and our full-time coaches who are actually trying to work the business. For our discount coaches or coaches that are mostly in this for a hobby, maybe this won't all apply, but it's good information to have in your back pocket later in case you decide to work your business more. But this is definitely going to be slightly more geared towards people working their business. That being said, track as you do these business activities. You can use whatever tracker that you like, that you prefer. There are several available to you. I have a few of them in our Coach Family page. There's the Business Activity Tracker. There's the Power of Threes tracker. There's the Reach for the Stars tracker. If you're a little bit further along in your business, there's the Team Builder tracker. There are several others out there. It's a matter of figuring out which tracker aligns with your business goals and the activities that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Some are very, very basic. Some are much more detailed. But using a tracker helps us stay on task. It helps us know where we left off if we are breaking up that time that we're working. Trackers are awesome because they allow us to see growth. So if you're using a new tracker every week and it's something that you're filing away or you're saving digitally on your computer, you can look back and see the growth, whether that be on your team, with your volume, with your market expansion. It also allows us to understand why we might be falling short. And this is why a lot of people avoid tracking, because we're afraid of zeros or we're afraid of blanks. And let me tell you, I have them. Top coaches even have them. There are some weeks that you're just going to have zeros on there, or you're going to have to own up having that accountability of a tracker to maybe not doing certain activities. Maybe there was something specifically all week that you avoided. Maybe it was inviting, and then the end of the month rolls around and you're wondering and you're feeling discouraged why you didn't hit, Success Club 5, but you look back at your last 2 weeks of trackers and your invites are low or your follow-ups are low. Trackers allow us to see not only where we are succeeding, but the areas that we need to place more of our attention or more of our effort. It allows us to see where we need to improve and where we're falling short in our business. So trackers aren't something to be intimidated by. They're something that can really empower us and take our business to the next level. Now, what I will say too, if you are a coach that is truly committed to your business and you're very focused on it and you are going to use this tracker, if you're one of my coaches, I will give you the option every single Thursday when the Beachbody Week wraps up at midnight on Wednesdays. You're welcome to email me your tracker every single week and I will review it and I'll look and give you any feedback that I might see. And your personal coach, if your upline coach is working the business, I guarantee you that they would be willing to do the same because our desire is to partner with you guys and to match your pace within your business when we mentor you. So again, if you're one of my coaches, you're welcome to send this to me every Thursday. My mentor actually offers me the same thing. And then of course with your trackers, sometimes tracking your business, depending on what your coach's policies are a prerequisite for certain mentorship calls. So it's just yet another way that we stay accountable, but we are also given incentive essentially to connect with our coach and stay on top of things so that we can continue moving forward. If you need me to post later the names of those trackers that I listed off, I can, just in case you want to look at each of them and decide what might be best for you. The fourth tip that I have for you guys is to maintain a contact list and to work from it on a weekly basis. Again, you can decide based on your style and your personality what works, whether that's paper or digital. But what I would definitely recommend is when you are working through your power hour and you're inviting people during the week, pull names from your contact list, write all of the names out of the people that you're going to invite that week so that it's not just a certain number of invites that you need to send to people on your contact list. They are specific people that you're going to be connecting with and inviting that week. So what I want you to challenge you guys to do is whatever day you have some time to get organized for your business, which will also benefit your home life and your family life by being organized during the week. Write out the names of each person that you're going to invite. It needs to, of course, correlate with your business goals. Everyone is going to have probably a different amount of people that they're having to invite each week so that they can reach their success club or their income goals or whatnot. But write those names down so that you are remembering that you're connecting with certain people and not just a certain number during the week. Another option that you guys have is downloading your Facebook friends list. I think I have a tutorial saved somewhere on how you can do this, but Facebook will actually download every name of your Facebook friends and it will send it to your email account in a certain format that you're able to upload essentially into an Excel spreadsheet. That's another way that you can work from your list and actually make sure that you are going through all of your Facebook friends rather than just scrolling through and saying, okay, I feel like inviting that person. Might be a little uncomfortable if I invite this person. It'll actually give you a hard copy list that you can genuinely work through. But use a contact list for sure. If you haven't heard of the resource Google Drive and you're wanting to use something digital, Google Drive is such an awesome free resource. All you have to have is a Gmail account. Even if you don't use Gmail as your primary email account, which I actually don't. I use Yahoo, but I have a Gmail account because I have an iPhone, so that's how I download apps. But if you use that and you log in to Gmail, there's a way that you can access the different portals that Google offers. One of which is Google Drive. And on Google Drive, you're able to create free documents, free sheets, which is their term for essentially an Excel sheet. You can create free applications that you may want to use for your team or for your challengers. It is such an awesome resource, and the cool thing is you can access it from anywhere. So even if you have a digital copy of your Facebook friends list saved on your home computer, if you figure out a way to put that into Google Documents, you can access it from any computer when you're logged into the internet, and you can potentially access it from your phone. Every now and again, I find that the mobile version of Google Docs or Google Sheets can look a little bit different on my phone and be a little finicky to access. You should still be able to at least see it. So that's definitely one of the benefits, and I think up to a certain amount of storage is free. And I've been using it for about 2 years and I haven't even hit that limit yet. So keep that in mind and know that there are plenty of tutorials even on YouTube if you want to learn how to use that. YouTube is such an awesome resource when you're trying to figure out how to use something brand new. All right, tip number 5, and I am doing my best to try to wrap this up, is to set boundaries. This is so important, you guys, if you are really wanting to treat Beachbody like a legitimate business. We connect with people all day long, whether it's people on our team, whether it's our customers or people that we're just trying to get to know, to bring into our inner circle. It's so important to set boundaries, to make sure that work time is work time, that your family time is your family time, to know when you need to unplug. This is something that you can set in stone on your schedule on a week-to-week basis, or this is something that you can evaluate day to day if you need to. For me, I like to have a general idea of my schedule, but it does vary week to week, just depending on what we have going on. But my husband knows that when I'm committed to family time, I will unplug. And that way he doesn't feel any sort of resentment when we're together if I were to pick up my phone and be pulling away from him to plug back into my business, because I have scheduled work time, and because I've got that penciled in on my calendar, or he knows when it is that I work my business. And that doesn't mean that if I'm prioritizing family and when I'm knowing when to unplug, that doesn't mean that I'm not hustling, and that doesn't mean that I'm not putting in the time and making sacrifices, but it means that it's organized, it's something that we've agreed to, and that I am still honoring my family in the process, because when I am committed to family time, I'm present mentally, not just physically. So it's very important. I want everyone on our team to know that family is a priority to me. That doesn't mean I don't expect you guys to make sacrifices if I know that you are working towards an important big goal that matters to your whole family, not just you. But I want to make sure that our families know that we love and we respect them, and that we've got boundaries set to make sure that that is actually reflected in our actions. Okay, so with those boundaries, those are just kind of general boundaries of time, but there are also boundaries that you set with your challengers and with your team. Now, if you're a new coach, this still is very relevant for you, and here's why. My mentor told me as a brand new coach that the boundaries I set now should be the boundaries that I expect to maintain down the road, and they should be boundaries that my team sees and thinks to themselves, okay, I can duplicate that one day. Because if you're available for your challengers and if you're available for your coaches until 11 o'clock at night, or if you're available at 5 a.m. in the morning, that might be very gratifying for them in the moment to be able to connect with you and to be able to get certain answers from you and certain resources from you. But it is not something that most of them can duplicate themselves when it comes time to them thinking about growing their team or growing their customer base. So it's very important to go ahead and set those boundaries and communicate them to your team out of respect for not only yourself, but for them as well. Again, and it can be received a little bit differently. I've had some coaches that kind of took that personally when I wasn't available at certain times, and I had to say, listen, I've set boundaries, I've set business hours. This is when you can connect with me. In the meantime, Please utilize your resources and do your due diligence to look up this information and move your business forward without waiting on me. And some people welcome it, just depending on the personality type. But what we want our coaches and our teams and our challengers to understand is that we're actually trying to set this example because we believe that they can do it too. So whether you have no coaches on your team or one coach on your team, or you have 50 coaches on your team, try to go ahead and establish boundaries now that you can maintain later and that your team can duplicate. All right, here is the last tip. Keep the main thing the main thing. When you are working your business, focus on business building activities. Focus on your to-do list, which is your power hour. Focus on your 4 vital behaviors. What I want you guys to not do is to not waste time working. Don't waste time working or make your family think that you're working just because you're on your phone when you're actually scrolling Facebook or interacting in a group or commenting on pictures of people that you want to connect with. Those might not be bad things, but we need to call it what it is. And a lot of those things are not work. If they are part of your power hour, maybe that is connecting with new people, or maybe that is plugging into certain groups. There's a time for it, and that time needs to be limited and it needs to be focused. So there are a couple of things that you can do. Of course, you can work from the list. Another option that you have, if you are on your phone or your computer, you are able to disable your Facebook newsfeed, because I know that I myself get very distracted by my newsfeed, and it's so easy to just start scrolling and then realize that 20 minutes have passed and all I have done is swiped my finger into my newsfeed, or every time I see a red bubble with a notification to click on it. All right, so it's one option that you have to disable your newsfeed. Don't think that it's forever. You can always undo that, but it's something that you can try if you feel like it will help you, whether that's on your phone or whether it's on your computer, to simply stay more focused. Another option that you have, you can actually delete the Facebook app from your phone, and there is an app that you can download called Groups. This app that you can download called Groups will pull up every Facebook group that you're a part of in almost a window form, and from that app, you're able to log into those groups and view it as a participant, or post in it, even if, like it's something that you're hosting. So you can still connect, you can still comment, you can still post, you can still see what other people are posting, but that means that when you're getting into Facebook, that you're only checking into those groups that you should be active in, rather than checking every notification for something on your personal page, or just scrolling the news feed. So those are ways that you can keep your focus on the main thing and avoid the distractions and not actually waste time working. You can try those things. You can use them long term. You can just, if they don't work for you, you can undo it. But I would definitely recommend seeing if that helps you focus. Another thing I would recommend, guys, keep it simple. Sometimes it's easy to get caught up with wanting to get ahead of ourselves, or wanting to match someone else's effort or where they are at in their business. And we start wasting time on things like graphics, or we start wasting time on things like making our own tracker, or we start wasting time on making custom meal plans, or creating our own training, instead of using resources that have been given to us and passed down to us. We try to recreate the wheel, and we waste a lot of time that way, and we waste a lot of energy that way. Just because you may use someone else's resource, or you might plug into the Gracefully Balanced page and utilize those trainings or those resources with your team, that doesn't make you any less of a leader. It doesn't make you any less of an individual. It doesn't make you any less creative. It means that you're being resourceful at the season of your life and of your business that you're at the time. There may come a time where you have extra time and extra energy to create things like that and to use things like that. But in the meantime, guys, a lot of you are very, very busy and you're juggling a lot of things. You're wearing a bunch of different hats, and the last thing that you need to do is overcomplicate this. So I'm just reminding you guys very lovingly to keep things simple and utilize the resources that are available to you in the Gracefully Balanced Coach family page, the Dynasty United Coach family page, and in your Coach Online office. A lot of the trainings that I have created, and you can't see me, but I'm doing that in quotations right now, have been pulled from the Coach Online office. I have been amazed at the content that they have added to our online office lately. So much valuable information. So I could easily waste time trying to type up my own content to make sure that it is 100% unique to me and that I feel complete ownership over it, which is not a bad thing to feel, and it's not a bad thing to do, but I ain't got time for that right now at this phase in my business. You know, I really have to focus on my goals, and while it's important for me to have that available to you guys, I know that I can plug into something that is already available to me, tap into that resource and share it. So I want to remind you guys to do that as well. And then finally, with keeping the main thing, stop comparing. Stop comparing your, chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 20. Stop comparing your business to someone else's business. Stop comparing your goals to someone else's goals. It's very easy to admire someone and to look at another coach for inspiration and to get sucked into the comparison game. And that messes with our mindset, and it draws our focus away from where it needs to be. Focus on where you're at, focus on where you're going, and focus on the reason why you're working towards your goals. If you see someone else accomplishing other goals that just, they're so great and they seem so wonderful, and maybe you feel yourself maybe a little envious of them, just think for a minute. Is that something that you personally want to work towards? If it is, reevaluate your why and reevaluate your goals and reevaluate your actions. But don't be surprised if you're a hobby coach and you're comparing yourself to a business builder, if you find yourself in a place of discontent when you waste time comparing yourself because you're in a totally different season than someone else. So lovingly, I want to encourage you guys to be inspired by other people, but stay in your lane. Focus on your business, focus on where you're at, and keep the main thing the main thing. Okay, so those are my 6 tips for you guys. I'm almost on time here. I want to give you guys a call to action. I'm going to post all of these slides with the recording at some point in our page so that you can go back to it. But hopefully with your notes, something has resonated with you, or multiple things have that maybe you need to implement. What I want you to do is I want you to write those down for you. But I want you to share them and post it in our Gracefully Balanced Coach family page sometime this week, and let me know and let our team know what steps you plan to implement soon for accountability. Saying it out loud to ourselves is its own level of accountability, but saying it to a team who is really cheering you on and only wishing you the best and wanting to help challenge you in that process of achieving whatever your goals are, is so helpful, guys. I know that it can be intimidating sometimes to put that stuff out there, but you'll be amazed at how many people are working through something similar to you, or trying to overcome something similar to you, or implement discipline in an area that maybe you are too. So that's your call to action. Post in our group this week what you plan to implement this week, okay? I'm going to go ahead and stop my screen share. And I'm actually going to stop the recording so we can do Q&A. You guys are welcome to unmute yourselves and ask any questions now.